So what are some of the major industry changes that you're seeing? What do you see as far as trends in your industry that people might not be expecting, and how can we prepare for those changes?
There's something I've been watching for a while, and I think the timing could be right over the next couple of years. Traditionally, our clients pay us, but I would not be surprised if, especially starting at higher level positions where a company needs, a specific skill set for a specific period of time. They don't necessarily need an employee full time forever. I think the staffing industry will begin to almost start to work like a sports agent would, where we have a highly qualified employee who jumps into a company, performs a task, and jumps out. And rather than the company necessarily being responsible for the portion of my fees, I think there'll be ways that we figure out how to have that employee pay us. It doesn't work now. The laws don't make it easy to do that now. But I would not be surprised if over time we start to see that, especially at the more senior levels first. It's just a gut feeling I have, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's something I hadn't heard before. Can you tell me a little bit more? What would be the benefit of that to the company and to the employee? Because when you hear, oh, the employee would be paying that cost, it would be like, well, why would I do
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
How do you see that working? Because that's very unique. I
Same
love that.
way a sports agent works. We're going to be negotiating for that client or for that candidate now. So we're going to say, hey, he or she has the skill set. They're committed to the job. You're going to pay X for it. And, they'll pay the fee. And at the end of the day, I guess they're paying anyway, but the transaction, I think, is going to be more from the candidate.
That's interesting. And it's kind of, I know there's this big thing in real estate industry right now where there's the lawsuit I'm sure you're familiar with, the separation. I'm not quite sure of all the details, but that it was a big shakeup in the industry about how people got compensated. But there's buyer's agents and there's seller's agents. And in the same way, you're really seeing yourself act as, as I guess it would be the seller's agent in that particular case, and making sure that they get the greatest amount of benefit from that relationship. So that's a very unique perspective I hadn't heard before. So thank you for that. So as you look towards the future, what excites you about the future of staffing?
For me, Bill, it's all this technology that's popping up. When I used to go to conventions, or I still go to them, but 10 years ago, I went to a convention really for the content of the convention. And there was an exhibitor hall and, it was the same stuff every year. It wasn't changing as quickly as it does now. Now I go to industry conventions for the exhibit hall because the new stuff that's coming out is exciting, it's fresh, and it's happening quickly. There was a piece of technology I looked at last December. I thought it would be beneficial to the business. I signed up for it and didn't hear anything. And come to find out in January, they were already out of business. That's the downside. Things change badly. But then there was another piece of tech that I heard about, took a look at it, and I said, wow, this could be really influential in my business very quickly. And it has been. And I don't even think they were in business a year ago. They were so new. And so the pace of change and the technology that will change how we go to market is the most exciting thing for me.
And based upon our other conversations, I find that really interesting because the technology that came in the past, job boards and other things that we had talked about previously, I think the staffing industry was afraid
Oh
that it was
yeah,
going to
all
put
that
them out of
stuff.
business.
The
Right?
internet was going to
Yeah.
put us out of business. The job boards were going to put us out of business. Now people are afraid AI is going to put us out of business. It's not. The interesting thing about our industry is there's lots of really nimble, really bright people in it, and we'll figure out how to use it and use it more quickly than our clients will because they don't hire as many people as we do. We need these tools to respond more quickly for them, and the investment makes sense for us, and it doesn't necessarily make sense for them.
Yeah, and that's what I think was really interesting to me as I was kind of thinking that about the technology is, I think a lot of companies say, oh, well, I don't use a staffing agency because I can do it myself cheaper. But with the technology coming in, it's going to be really difficult for them to keep up with that level of technology. And I think it might actually make the staffing industry stronger in the fact that, people will be saying, I can't compete with that. I don't want to take my focus away to implement this technology in the business. I'm going to let you do it. I'll pay you a fair cost for that.